All right. I'm trying a thing with the thing on the YouTubes. See if it will do it. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know if it's working though. It won't let me. See, it won't let me do the thing that I'm trying to do, which is go dual, and I don't know why. So we'll have to fiddle with that. I'll have to fiddle with that later. All right, I give up. I give up. I give up.
All right. Well, that wraps up our show tonight. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, there you go. That's the show. No, we're kidding. That's not the show. We're just starting the show. We wanted to try something and it's not working with YouTube's dual stream capability. Oh, I don't even know why I'm in that one. I should be in this one. So, I hit the wrong button. See, this is what happens sometimes when you're broadcasting and producing at the same time. Jay, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing feisty. How are you?
I'm ready for this week to be over. That's really where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm really ready for this week to be done. So, um, yeah, I am happy to say, right? And we'll knock this out before we get into main topics because everybody gets cranky with me about when we do sports. In spite of my argument that sports brings communities together, but we'll talk about that another time. But yeah, the Seahawks are going to the NFC Championship this weekend. It's great. We beat the 49ers, right? All their stupid bang bang Niner gang. God, I hate the 49ers. So they didn't just beat them; they dismantled them last weekend. It was 41-6. Like it was bad. Although I have discovered my new NFL superstition. So for the last 3 weeks, every time the Seahawks play, I've had a couple people over. We've been playing Magic while we watch the Seahawks game, and since we started this, playing Magic while we watch the Seahawks, they have not lost.
So is that like an enchantment? Like, or like what?
3-mana enchantment. As long as you are playing the Seahawks, cannot lose. So, but yes, there's magic in Magic the Gathering. So I'm gonna continue that. We're gonna keep going with the idea of playing Magic while we watch the Seahawks on Sunday. So, and speaking of sports, something that came out of nowhere. You were talking about this in the pre-show.
Yes.
So what did you want to talk about with this? Because I was surprised at how far this has gotten into like mainstream sports too.
Yeah. So, gay hockey players.
As you do.
They exist.
Yeah, sure.
Which evidently is like a huge. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain hockey. Hockey is very manly, and people don't really associate being gay with being manly. That's the world we live in. I'm not saying,
and
that's
especially a game like hockey where it's like a lot of fighting, teeth get knocked out. Not something you would like necessarily associate with being queer.
Yeah. So a TV show came out, Heated Rivalry. Oh my God, Heated Rivalry, where it's about gay hockey players, and they're competing against each other.
That's fair.
And then they're, I don't know, banging like blades in the bed, to put it lightly. We started watching it, and I'm not going to lie. So,
is it good? I've heard it's good.
It is like insanely good. So in the beginning, because everyone's ripped, right? Everyone's just super muscular. They're taking their shirts off all the time because it's like locker rooms, all of that kind of stuff. So in the first episode, I asked my wife, and I was like, "Oh, like how many people do you think have like this is like their biggest fantasy, right? Like two very manly, buff hockey players going to town."
Yeah.
And that's honestly what I thought the TV show was about in the very beginning. Like, okay, this is just like smut. Like, this is eye candy. And then I'm going to say I got addicted to it. It's very short. It's only 6 episodes. You can binge it. And I like at the end almost cried. And I literally was like, son of a bitch, I have something in my eye. Like, oh my God. It is insanely good. I do recommend everyone go watch it. If you are into hockey or if you're into life or if you're into eating food, go watch it. I don't know.
I'll say this: it seems to be transcending outside of what you would consider its core demo. I was watching some stuff on like mainstream hockey podcasts and like Bring Burley, like mainstream podcasts are watching the show and getting super into it. They did a cool spoof of it on SNL that I saw this weekend, where they were doing heated rivalry at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Ron and Harry doing some stuff. You know, I mean, whatever. I think it's great that it's transcending kind of probably what they figured was going to be its core demo for something like that. So, no, that's great. I'm all for it. We need more good stories out there. Okay. Well, with that being said, actually, hang on. Let me do one real quick thing this week because so I can actually be prepared for when we put these streams on later because I'm a doof. Anyway, coming to you from our live Weird Home Studios, it is the Error Code Show for January 22nd, 2026. Your place for news, pop culture, politics, gaming, and whatever the hells we want to talk about. If you want to support the show and you're watching us on Twitch, you can subscribe to the show on Twitch. Or if you have Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch sub as part of your Amazon Prime membership. So you can just give us Amazon's money. And we appreciate that too. You can comment, like, and subscribe to videos on our YouTube channel. We are constantly trying to beat the algorithm gods, and YouTube is notorious for consistently changing the algorithm. So we're on our march to 5,000 subs. We're at just over 3 now. So yeah. Help us out. The more you guys share this, the better off we do. Also, hit that little notification. I was looking at analytics last week, and only like 2% of the people who subscribe to our channel have notifications on for when we do new videos. And be sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Error Code Show, or join the Discord. It's in the links all over the place. So, with that all down, I think it's time to roll into our first topic tonight. What do you think, Jay?
Let's go. It's going to be something like really fun, right?
No, well, maybe.
Right?
Maybe. This one came from our Discord channel. So somebody on Discord requested this. Washington State just looked at 3D printers and said, yeah, we should probably talk about this. And honestly, fair. So the state has introduced House Bill 2321, a bill aimed at regulating 3D printers, specifically to address manufacturing illegal firearms and restricted weapons components. On the surface, this sounds pretty straightforward. Prevent people with 3D printers from printing things they shouldn't be printing. Lofty goal. When you read the bill, it becomes we're not just maybe talking about guns. We're talking about licensing printers, tracking ownership, and criminal liability tied to what is at its core just a general purpose manufacturing tool. And that's where it gets interesting. The printer itself is not the weapon, it's a tool. The same tool that we use to print medical braces, replacement car parts, tabletop miniatures, cosplay armor, engineering prototypes, and yes, occasionally things that absolutely should not be made. So tonight, we're not going to do a knee-jerk, this is good or this is bad reaction, because that's not how we do necessarily on this show. We're asking a real question. What does regulating harmful use become regulating the tool itself, and where do we draw that line? Once the state starts doing it, where does it stop? So we're going to talk about HB 2321, what it does, what it might accidentally do, and why a lot of people who've never printed anything illegal are suddenly like getting all up in arms about this. Okay. So let's talk about the bill. And for everybody's reference, I highly encourage you, if you're going to go talk about a bill, okay, they put the dang things on the internet, right? Like these things are not, they don't hide this stuff, okay? So the bill is all out there, but let's back up for just a second. Jay, I haven't spent, I know I have a lot of friends who do it, but I haven't spent a whole lot of time. You are an engineer by trade, right? You've done some 3D printing. What is your first knee jerk reaction to kind of hearing this?
Yeah. So my first knee jerk reaction is like, okay, you went from like the lowest extreme to like the most extreme, and now you got to find like some sort of middle ground here because, like, yes, you can 3D print things that you should not 3D print. And if you can 3D print a gun that's like not traceable, then you're creating a really bad world. So yes, it should be monitored somehow, but going to the extreme side, like what you talked about, Alex, that's way too extreme because so we had a print lab in college.
For 3D, a 3D print lab.
Yeah. Okay. So like a wall, you just had a wall of like maybe 10 printers and you could just walk in whenever you wanted, plug your laptop up to a printer and print something. Okay. It was that simple. And it was fun. And yeah, like sometimes like people would print like the little, you know, like the little penis guys with the little feet that are like really cute and adorable. And people, you know, have the debate of like, should we really be using like college funds to do this? But yeah, no one got in trouble for anything that was 3D printed. And we have a 3D printer at work for specifically my department for rapid prototyping. And this is where like the industry side of things can really.
So this is something you use. Hey, we need to design a prototype real fast to see if this part will fit in this part.
Yep.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what the bill does, right? So first they start defining illegal firearm parts, right? And there's some stuff related to other RCWs. A lot of it is firearms you're not supposed to have or converting using 3D printed parts to turn weapons that are not machine guns into machine guns. Okay? Because you can 3D print some stuff to modify existing weapons to make them illegal. So, what does this law do? What this law does is it basically says, if you own a 3D printer, part of your software related to your 3D printer has to be blocking software that's designed and fits in a database that all the manufacturers agree to, where there's certain parts and things that the blocking software, if you try and put it into the 3D printer, it will just say, nope, you can't do that. That's illegal, right? And so that's what you have to have after July 1st, 2027. Okay? You have to have blocking features to prevent the printer from printing firearms and illegal firearm parts. How are they going to do this? What they're going to do is they're basically, it looks like they're going to try and make it to where the software will basically handshake. Think of it like DRM for video games, right? Where in order for you to play the game, there's digital rights management, and it has to handshake a server, right? And go, hello, I'm here, in order for the printer to work. And then that handshake will say, hey, does this printer's firmware have the blocking software installed? Right? So that you can't print these illegal things. So, that's basically the kind of 15,000 foot view, right? Specifically, firmware design, integrations of a firearms blueprint detection algorithm directly into the 3D printer's firmware, right? So, I want to ask two questions because I just saw your face contort, right? Hearing what I'm describing, let's say they pass this law. Is it even practical to accomplish?
Yeah, I think they could. I think you're obviously going to have like some sort of success versus like fail rate. So you're going to piss off a lot of people who are just trying to, I don't know, print
anal beads.
Yeah. And then they're like, why is this like coming up an AK-47 part? It's anal beads. And then they're going to get mad. Um, so yeah, I would say to answer your question, I think it is doable.
How difficult is it going to be for them to do?
That I don't I don't know. You can do it. I would think that it's not entirely difficult, but you're going to shell out some money. You're going to need to hire like the right people to do that, to build that kind of system. But yeah, I would say it's going to be costly for whoever is going to do this, not technically like a difficult issue.
Yeah. So I'm going to draw a weird parallel based on something somebody's saying in the chat. First Amendment. Yes and no, because we have restrictions. So, for example, if you go out there and look at some of the AI chat programs, they have very specific stuff, a lot of them, especially the ones that are more adult oriented, to attempt, or at least attempt, to keep these AI image generators and AI chat programs from generating child porn, right? Because child porn is illegal, right? And they've said, look, you've got to find a way to at least try to like knock this down.
Yeah.
Right. So I know that I don't think it's a First Amendment thing, right? The two that you're trying, I understand the privacy concerns, right? To a degree, right? I get the privacy concerns to a degree. Because, yeah, you're basically allowing somebody to monitor what you're manufacturing to a greater or lesser degree. And so you could expand this kind of handshake and database stuff to prevent you from making stuff that would be considered IP law. Right? Like, hey, Disney says you can't 3D print Mickey Mouse ears because they own that IP. I don't know if that one would stand up to strict scrutiny if it went to court, right?
Yeah.
What this one's really, really difficult. Again, the way this was put into our Discord channel when somebody requested this as a topic was very much like, I'm against this. Now I watched the videos that they provided to me. I think that the person that was analyzing it was really going way down the slippery slope argument, right? And fair. Like, I get it. But nothing in the law as written right now addresses anything but firearms, right? Nothing. Okay. That's really what it's designed to do. Could they expand this law later? Absolutely. I have no doubt that someone will try, right? This one, as far as whether, even if they pass the law, it's going to get sued to death, right? The 3D printer manufacturers are going to sue them for undue burden, right? The 3D printers are going to sue them for violating, I don't know, Second Amendment, whatever, right? And it's going to have to go through a whole court process. So I don't think they're going to make their July 1st, 2027 implementation date, because I think it's going to take longer to get through the court system. So now that we've kind of talked about this, do you think it's a good law, bad law? Like, we talk about technology, especially in relation to AI a lot, and how AI needs regulation. And right now it's the Wild West for the most part. I have to say, with the danger that 3D printed firearms do make, because they are unregistered, they're not tracked. Now, to be fair, they're also not very high quality. Nobody's made a really good 3D printed firearm yet that really lasts. Because the filament that you use to make firearms, that you use to 3D print stuff, doesn't do well when you're putting explosive rounds through it. Right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. What do you think?
So I think it's going to be clunky, but overall, I would have to say this is a good thing. Hate me, but I'm going to use the example of like chemicals. There's a lot of chemicals that can be used in several different ways. But we all know that if you order a certain amount of chemicals and a combination of chemicals that you can make explosives out of, you're going to be flagged and you're going to get like a knock from whatever agency deals with that. I don't know, FBI, CIA,
ATF.
DEA.
ATF would be.
ATF.
Oh, you're talking about the chemicals?
Yeah, like if they think you're trying to make a
Oh,
bomb.
that's ATF.
All right, so ATF. So like it's the same. It's kind of the same thing there, right? Like, and maybe they don't just like completely deny you; they flag you, and you're like on a list somewhere, and then it's reviewed. You know, ATF comes in and is like,
What the heck
are
are you
those
doing?
anal beads, or is that a gun?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Anal beads are a gun. Because that's the only thing people make with 3D printers now is anal beads and firearms. Okay. And that's where we'll leave that segment. Again, I think we're early days on this one. I think it's a little too early to be like, this is horrible or this is great. But again, I do think it's interesting, and I think it's something that we should look at. And this is kind of the role of what government's supposed to do. So anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments section below. All right. So don't let it not be said that we don't take Discord stuff, because we do. We do.
We do take it.
We do take
it.
your Discord stuff. We had a couple more things. One more that came straight from the Discord, because I really want to talk to you about it. Plastic 3D printed guns are such a nothing thing. It's cheaper to buy a real gun on the street. It's cheaper but more risky. That's the thing. It's the same. The same argument is actually made about narcotics, because the thing is that when you were buying weed from shady fucking dealers, there's a level of risk there that's not there, right? And this is why you saw some cannabis stuff go up after cannabis was legalized, because people feel just more comfortable walking into a friendly little store and using their debit card, right? And knowing it's legal. Again, there's a lot of arguments for and against this. This is why I'm like, you know, when it got put in the Discord, I was like, I can't just slam it, right? It's too nuanced of a topic for me to just be like, bad. So, it's worth. All right, Jay, this next one's on you, pal.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll. All right, you ready? Let's go.
I'm ready. Let's go. So I called this sexism or transphobia. You decide. So first, some housekeeping here, some updates about like transitioning stuff. I did start doing some vocal training, which there's a lot of resources out there. There's YouTube videos you can go watch. There's websites that have videos that you can go watch. You can hire like a one-on-one instructor. And it's actually very technical and it's pretty hard. And my whole stance was, you know, even if I can't achieve like a voice that's more feminine, at least it would help me with the podcast. Just not being very monotoned and putting all of you guys to sleep. So I did start that. Today, I actually submitted the paperwork to change my ID. One, update my photo. My photo still had a beard. I have been kind of harassed is not the right term, but like questioned a lot. Whenever I'm trying to buy alcohol, they look at like me, they look at my ID and they're like, this doesn't look like you. And I'm like, crap. You are correct. But at the same time, can we do like, I don't know, the reverse Batman here? Does it look like me if I just like put my, I don't know. But, and yeah, that is fair. No one wants to like lose their like liquor license because, you know, they sold me who could very well pass as an 18-year-old. I get it. I look really young. Thank you, everyone. But I did update my picture on my ID as well as my gender. So my gender on my ID when it comes in like 2 weeks will be female instead of male. With that, you know, we are like edging closer. Oh, why did I use that word? We are inching closer to a change of pronouns. So I was using they, them as I was trying to figure out like who I am. what I want to do, my goals. I will say like all of that is like now pretty set in stone. I struggle with using like she, her pronouns without looking very she, her-ish. So we'll see when I make that like official change, but things are slowly changing in multiple places to she, her. Um, I'm going back to Planned Parenthood next week. I am trying to get prescribed HRT now and then not start it until I come back from Japan, mainly because I'm a little freaked out about this administration. So yeah, so that update about transitioning. I'm not sure if we covered this on the podcast, but over Christmas break, my family and I, we went up to Victoria, Canada, where oddly enough, and I wasn't really expecting this, I had my first like transphobic comments.
We didn't cover this.
Oh, okay.
No, we haven't covered this on the podcast.
So there was two different cases where I was walking down the street. We were doing some shopping. So one person walked up to me and in a very Canadian way was like, you're a bit confused, aren't you, eh? And I just like kept walking, ignored it. That was that. Didn't super bother me. Second person was like, wow, like Halloween must be every day for you, eh? Which I was like, I love Halloween. So I literally was like, yes, in a very actual, authentic, excited way. I was like, yes. And then it hit me like, oh, you're being a dick. But the person already like went on. Like they were very nice about it, like their transphobia, but it happened. I don't know. I wasn't expecting Canada to be like my first like face-to-face.
But it's Victoria. Comment. You know what I mean?
I have no idea what that means.
Victoria's kind of stuffy. Okay? It's not nightlifey. It's very like rich people and like, you know, it's the Empress Hotel and high tea and you know, that kind of stuff. I've been to Victoria. It's a pretty kind of place. And so the fact that again shouldn't happen, but the fact that you ran into it in Victoria of all places somehow doesn't surprise me. Because they're like they're all old people there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think you would have like the chat saying, I think you would have a very different experience in Vancouver. I know we used to drive up there when I was 19 because the drinking age in Vancouver, British Columbia is 19 years old. And so you could go across the border as an American at 19 and go up and club for the weekend in Vancouver and drink, and it was legal. So just something to keep in mind.
Interesting. Yeah, and both cases they were much older people.
See what I say? Old rich people.
Yeah. But so that catches us up. Since our numbers like spiked on Discord, I take it Canada Dry is back. She wanted to be here for this one. So something really interesting happened at work. And at first I didn't really think too much of it because I've kind of been expecting things to be different, right? But then the more I thought about it, the more it bothered me on multiple different levels. And when I talked to a couple of different women in the office, one literally started shaking and it said, was there a witness for this? And I said, no. And she said, I need you to please go away because I'm about to like lose my shit and get fired. And I was like, okay.
That's a hell of a lead in.
Yeah. So what happened? Let's break this down. A person that I know very well, and I don't have any issues with this person. We chat all the time, and we chat about a lot of different things. We don't see eye to eye on everything, but we can talk about it and agree to disagree. We don't ever get mad at each other. So we were talking about like someone else brought up pronouns earlier during that day. During lunch, they were like, hey, like, I don't use your like feminine name and I don't use like your pronouns because to me, you're still very masculine. Now I'm going to pause here. At that point, so I was like kind of preparing myself. I was like, okay, whatever's going to be said, I feel like is not going to be good. And then when they got to that point, I was like, fair. I wake up every day, I look in the mirror, I know how I look, and I thought it was based on looks. And I was like, yeah, fair. I'm working on it. I get what you mean because I think I look very masculine every fucking day. Welcome to gender dysphoria. So then and I will say this, I'm not sure if they realized like that could have been bad. And then they tried to pivot to something to try to make it better and then just dug themselves
deeper,
a much deeper hole, which is actually what I wanted to talk about today. So they said, not based on how you look. Oh, this is intriguing to me. So it's not that I look masculine.
I have no idea where this is going.
Yeah, where is this going? Please tell me.
I'm saying you're telling the story of, and I frequently try to anticipate, like, where is this going? Like, what are we doing? In this particular case, based on the initial statement of I don't do this because of X, and I'm like, but you kind of hinted that it gets deeper, but I'm like, I can't even, not because of your looks. Where is this going?
And for everyone that's watching, I like left this. I did not describe this in our rundown. Like it's kind of like bullet pointed, but I did not explain this to Alex at all. So
I'm learning this with you, the audience, as we go.
Yeah. So they said, yeah, it's not based on your looks.
Okay.
But it's because you're still a leader. Like you are still leading a team. And it shocked me. Like I'm not going to lie. Like I wasn't expecting it and it shocked me. And I was like, oh, huh. Eating food as we do. And then it's just like that little thing in your head that just like you just kept going back to. And I was like, huh. What? So obviously, are you implying that like you don't view good leaders or leaders in general
as women? Yeah. So
as women?
I have two quick questions. One, because the chat, obviously everybody knows Jayler's with my spouse. My spouse is in the chat riling things up. So here's my first question. Do I know this person's name? The person who said this.
I don't think you've ever met them.
Yeah, no, not met, but have I heard stories about this person?
Knowing your wife, like maybe.
Okay.
But not in a negative way.
Okay, so it's not the person who I'm thinking it is. Okay.
I don't know.
Starts with an A.
Oh no. No. Oh
See,
no.
That was where my brain went first. Right?
Yeah, so
Alex
is asking if it was my manager, and I think if it was my manager, I immediately would have been like, "Fuck no, HR! Like this is done. Like you did not just say that."
Okay. So let's recap because there's somebody in the audience who's a little lost. So I'm going to recap for the audience, and let's see if I've grokked everything that's said here. So you're having lunch-ish snack with a coworker. Okay. This person says to you, I don't use your feminine pronouns or your feminine name because I don't see you that way, they immediately back up and go, and not because of how you look, but because here at work, you're still leading a team. So that means you must not be a female. Am I picking everything up so far?
Yeah. So obviously, those were not the words that were said, but yeah, that was all that was.
Kind of the gist of where we're going.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what happened. Yeah.
I'm doing this for the audience. I'm recap. See, and the audience, it's somebody in the chat's like, oh, okay. Like, we caught him up. We're good. So after they said this, did they continue to dig the hole as deep as they could?
No. And I didn't let them, to be completely honest. I was truly shocked. I didn't know how to take it at first. And they said like, oh, don't take that the wrong way. And I was like, okay. And then we started talking about like Greenland, right? And that's a that's a much funner topic to talk about. But yeah, like I said, I went back to it in my head and I was like, this is kind of fucked up because like, is this sexist or like transphobia? Like
Both. Somehow,
Yeah.
they managed to put both together, right? And that, my friend, takes fucking talent. Like, you've got to be talented with your bigotry to somehow, in the same conversation, do a little bit of transphobia and then pivot right into sexism.
Yeah. And to be honest, like I don't have anything against this person. I'm we call these things like blind spots at work,
Sure.
where like you don't know that you're being sexist and you are or transphobic. So I don't hold any like ill will against this person, but it did like really because I've been warned. I've been warned by I don't know, a slew of people, like probably 15 plus people. Like, hey, you do not understand. Like, you're going to lose so much privilege becoming a female. And like, it's really going to slap you in the fucking face. And you're going to realize it one day. And so I was thinking, I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. Here it is. This is the start. Okay.
And I have to imagine it's going to be even more jarring for you because women, people who are assigned female at birth, they deal with this their whole lives. Right? And for those of you who haven't met my co-host in person, right? Like I am like 5'7", meter build. I got a little bit of a beer belly these days. But Jay is tall, former soccer player, like, because how tall are you? 6'1"?
I'm 6'1", yeah.
6'1", right? So Jay is 6'1", and prior to that, they're not like small. And so before you started transitioning, and you had the big beard and you were a big dude. I'm going to use this in the past tense, by the way. That's the term in which I'm using, right? So you were kind of that, like, you looked like what people think a guy should look like. A dude, a bro, right? Like, you had that visage at that time.
Yeah.
Right? Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, 100%.
And so I think for you, it may be additionally jarring because this is going to be entirely new to you. This kind of like sexism.
Yeah. I mean, right. Like we all have had probably people like question us and think like, oh, like Alex can't do that or, whatever. Which is perfectly fine. But like to go from like, yeah, like this person can handle it. This person's strong. To like, oh, yeah, I don't know if they can handle it. And like, they're kind of weak, all of a sudden. It's like, I, you're like, I'm still the same person on the inside. Like, you guys realize that, right? Like, I'm not like, I don't know. There's not like an alien inside of me that's like taking over my body. It's still me. My just physical body is going to change. So, yeah.
I wish I knew what to say about that. But yeah, congratulations.
And I will say I talked to two other project managers who were female, who rightfully so lost their shit. And then also like a different like female coworker. And everyone immediately was like, we have to figure out who this person is, like pitchforks and fire and everything. And I don't think that we need to like burn in these people that think this way. But I think it's just like a education, right? And like proving them wrong. And I think that is the biggest. So this is the thing that I keep going back to, like me transitioning. It's not just about me, but when you know someone and so I have so many friends. I've never met a trans person. They don't understand it. Like, how could someone be trans?
And I think we covered this on a previous show.
Yeah.
I'm going to half agree with you, right? Some of it's exposure and they just have no idea. Okay.
Right.
Some of them are just dickheads and we can burn them. Right. I think what I'm gathering from you is you don't believe that this person went into this conversation or as they were speaking, were like, I want to fucking take a dig at you. Right. That's not the thing that they were doing. And so you're not trying to burn them because you're like, all right, I don't think you were meaning to do this. So I'm not going to burn you. But yeah, like I said, yeah. Some people do deserve the burn. Some people deserve it.
If they were, like, if this was a different person who I didn't get along with, right? Or if I sensed that they were trying to take a dig at me.
Your manager.
Oh, this wouldn't have even been a discussion. Like, I know exactly who to talk to in HR. It's like, I know the process. It would have been like, hey, we have an issue. Like, this is fucked up. And it's just not that. So yeah, don't, please, everyone out there, take like the context of the situation. Don't always just jump to burning the people. And yeah, I think this is like a learning opportunity. And again, like, I don't have any ill feelings against this person, but it was interesting to get like a glimpse into how some people think.
And I think this is an interesting conversation. I'm curious how we're going to market this one on the YouTube channel. It's not part of the stream, but it's an interesting conversation to have. It's so interesting. I think you guys should tell us what you think down in the comments below. If it makes you feel any better, we tend to get a lot of comments on these ones. So, yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Yeah, it's much like we got called Marvel shills. We are starting to get some of the transphobic comments. So, look, if you want to hate watch our channel, fucking hate watch, dude. Like, I'll take the clicks. I'll take the view time. Yeah.
And like and subscribe so that you can keep
hate watching us, you fucktards. Do you want to do this next one? I'm reading your rundown here, and I am not quite sure where you're going. So, I'm reading, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to cover this. This
could
just be.
You want to push this one to maybe next week or later?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
We can just like quickly tease our audience. I think just
want to talk about some AI stuff.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. Evidently, those of you that love YouTube, the CEO announced yesterday that creators like us that you're watching will be able to this year create AI content that looks like us and just doing whatever content we want, but only for shorts. So We're gonna
I
cover
said it
this
takes a
more
lot
in
of
depth.
fucking runtime to do anything longer than that with AI. Shit. I want to look into this one more. Speaking of which, though, by the way, anybody in the chat, if there's any news stories or any topics that you saw this week that you want us to cover, toss them in the chat right now, and we will try and get to them toward the later part of the show. We generally do have some time for some Q&A at the end. So again, if you've got some questions, comments, or anything you want to talk about, toss them in the chat right now. And every week, if you're watching this live stream later, you can come to our live stream and toss things in the chat. We monitor both YouTube and Twitch at the same time, and you can ask us questions. I'm kind of sad because YouTube and Twitch chat can't see each other. It makes me sad. Like, I can see both, right? But they can't see each other.
If YouTube posts something,
I think they would have a lot more fun in the chat.
They can see it like on the stream though, right? Like,
no, because I can only get the Twitch mod to load. It's just one of those things. Yeah, it sucks. All right, we're gonna move on to something really fun today, right? And I showed this to Jay just before the show. They didn't know that this was happening, right? So, I am probably more excited for this than I have any right to be, okay? But, and I knew this was coming for a while, our first trailer for Masters of the Universe, the He-Man live action movie, came out today. And honestly, I'm kind of hyped for this one. It won't probably make it into my like top 10 of the year, but I do want to cover it because I'm very, very entertained by this trailer. I have to say, the production design for Castle Grayskull, all that stuff, that looks... I'm going to make that bigger. Yeah, I can kind of. That looks great. Don't you think? I mean...
This is insane.
I really am pretty impressed, right? We got Prince Adam. We find the sword, right? Like, look at that Castle Grayskull. Like, I am super impressed. I'm not playing a lot of it because we'll get copyright struck. You got the spaceships. Look at that. We get the kitty. I love it. I absolutely love the way they made this look. Where is Skeletor? I want to show. Where are you at, Skeletor?
There's one right after, like, the name at the end.
Yeah. Skeletor. Look at that. Oh, wait, I'll go back.
Oh, my God.
Skeletor looks right. Yeah. I really, really love that, the way they made that look. So I think the guy playing He-Man, he looks good. We even got the moment that I have the power. So Jay, you watched the entire trailer, as did I today. Yeah. What was like top of mind? Like, do you like the trailer? Does it make you want to watch this movie?
Yeah, I didn't know this was coming. So when you brought it up today, I was like, oh my God. I watched it. I literally was like, oh fuck, when I saw Skeletor. I think this looks really good. I will watch this. I will. Yes.
I like that they kept the He-Man costume very true to He-Man. Like, it is impractical as F. Like, I'm like, he's not wearing armor. He's wearing like a crop top. Like, what is this? But it looks very like 80s. It's got definitely kind of a Thor Ragnarok feel. It's Tyler Knight. Tyler Knight's done some good stuff in the past. Hang on, I want to see, where is he at? Is it Tyler Knight? Who's the director? I'm trying to remember. No, Travis Knight, sorry. He's done some good stuff in the past. Let's go back to his. He did Kubo and the Two Strings. He did Bumblebee. Yeah, he's done some good stuff. I think it looks really, really good. Now, here's my concern. This is my worry with this one. And the one that I kept thinking about as I was watching the trailer is I said, this looks like Dungeons and Dragons to me.
Yeah.
The D&D movie, the one with Chris Pine. To answer chat, yes, you did peep Idris Elba. Idris Elba is in the movie. And yeah, I'm excited for this movie. Morena Baccarin is in this. She plays the sorceress, right? Idris Elba, Jared Leto is Skeletor, Alison Brie. Yeah, again, it's a pretty good looking cast. Okay, anyway, back to it. I think this is D&D all over again. Because I don't know how they're going to market this movie. When I saw the marketing for the Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie, and you guys can go, it may still be on this channel. It's like early videos of this channel back when we were doing this under the umbrella of the store. I said, I don't know who they're marketing this to, right? For Dungeons & Dragons. I was like, I think they're missing on the marketing because I can't tell what I'm looking at here, right? Me, I have fond memories as a child of He-Man, right? Which is really the stupid He-Man. Anyway. I don't know if there's a way to successfully market this to a general audience. And the thing is it happened with the Dungeons & Dragons movie. They marketed it. There wasn't a lack of marketing. But every time I saw it, I was like, I don't know who you're marketing this to. And what happened? It was a good movie that flopped hard in the box office. So,
yep.
Two things. Do you agree that this is a danger for this movie of them not being able to market it? Because how the hell do you market this? Right? And two, if it was you, how would you market this to get a general audience to watch this?
So last semester, I took a marketing promotion class where you learn how to create promotional material for anything.
Mm-hmm.
So one, you would have to very well understand your target audience. Probably those that grew up with the original.
But you
TV
need to
show.
get this to a larger audience than that, because that's not enough people to make this a financial success.
But you would start there, though. You would start there, figure out what percentage have children. You would try to appeal to the adults that are fans of the original TV show, that have children that are going to take their kids to see this movie, most likely, hopefully. And then also, how can you market this really towards like the children? So like, for instance, like Minecraft, right? Like Minecraft. I mean, you're not marketing towards like 30, 40 year olds for that movie, but you are trying to hit like a younger audience. So, but you brought up like the key issue with this, and yeah, D&D was a great movie, and I think it only flopped because of marketing. And marketing is everything, guys. I've realized that going through my MBA program. It doesn't matter if you have the best product. It doesn't matter if you have the best idea. If you don't have the marketing to support it, you don't have a product. Period. Marketing is everything.
Yeah. The reported budget on this film, this is my other concern, and you can tell the film looks great. They spent some money. The reported budget is $170 million. So let's take that to the bank, which means they need to make $425 at the box office to make this profitable. Right? That's where they make money, is $425. I don't know if this can hit a global 425. I also don't know how big this one's audience is going to be outside of the United States. This could be one of those weird ones where it does 40 million in the US and then, 380 million overseas, and it, does okay. Otter Among Thieves only made 205 for the Dungeons and Dragons movie. 93 domestically and 112 million worldwide. I don't know how you do this. I'm really, really not sure.
Yeah.
Again, I want to see this. They're going to get some of my money, for sure. For sure, they're going to get some of my money. But
yeah,
I kind of... This is just the first trailer, so it could jump, right? It's possible.
Yeah.
But I really don't know.
You gotta get into those like Happy Meal toys.
Yeah, and
Do
I
they
got
still make Happy Meal toys.
they do, and they still market it, but those ones are done way ahead of time. We got some folks in the chat who are very kind of down on this trailer, and I don't blame it. Look, it's not this. I'm not going to say that the Modern Earth side of it's going to screw the movie up. I don't know, right? I just don't know. I'm going just purely on what I'm seeing in the trailer, and again, it looks like they spent some money, and it looks like they got a decent cast, and it looks like they tried to honor the source material, at least as far as the production design goes. That's what I see. So take that for what it's worth. Somebody in YouTube chat wants a souvenir popcorn bucket. I mean, of course we do. But anyway, did you guys watch the He-Man trailer? Let us know what you think of it down in the comments below. All right. So I used to run this show longer before you and I did it. We would run this one for like 3 hours, and sometimes we would take a break, and sometimes I feel like that. Like we should for some of these ones. Somebody in the YouTube chat, I want the damn souvenir popcorn bucket, and I dare to dream it transforms into Castle Grayskull or even Snake Mountain, just like the old play sets. Dude, if they made a popcorn bucket that transformed into Castle Grayskull, look at Jay's face right there. You know what they're thinking. What?
I mean, Alex was there when I tried to buy the fucking $100 Galactus head that was sold out. Oh, dude, no, oh my God, that would be so sick. Hang on, I gotta show you guys something. I'm gonna be right back.
All right, we're gonna let this go. While we're waiting for them to come back, again, if you had any stuff that you wanted to talk about that you saw in the news this week, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. We'll try and get to that toward the end of the show. We've probably got, sometimes we go 2 hours. Again, just kind of depending on how active chat is and what kind of topics we're working on.
Okay.
What do you got?
So, 2 Comic-Cons ago, I think. Look at this. Look at how sick this is.
It is not focusing in your camera. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, by the power of Grayskull. Is that Tom Cook? He-Man
That is
on Battlecat.
Yes.
I'm hoping we get to see Battlecat in full armor in the movie. We saw Battlecat in the trailer, but they weren't in their armor yet. I want to see Battlecat in full battle mode. Okay. If it's silly, dumb fun, I will walk out happy. I'm just worried this is going to be another Dungeons and Dragons for the marketing.
Oh, okay. Modern marketing. Literally, it's up to us, the influencers, the content creators. Like, we have to make it great. We have to push the movie. So until you guys see the movie, every single topic from now on is just going to be He-Man lore, He-Man history, He-Man art, He-Man smut, everything. He-Man. I don't know.
He-Man smut. He-Man fanfic. Okay. Well, I suppose it's about time to move on to our next topic. This one's mildly fun, but we're going to go with it. Why not? All right. So, we've all been following the news about Trump and the so-called Greenland deal this week. Greenland. The thing he tried to buy like it was a couch on Craigslist. So apparently, after everything went down at Davos and all the speeches, there is now a, quote, framework for a future deal that Trump has announced with NATO leadership, which we're going to come back to, which sounds impressive until you realize nobody can actually tell us what the deal actually does right now. And this is where a pattern shows up. For those who don't know, Wall Street has a nickname for Trump and his negotiation style, taco. And it's short for Trump always chickens out. I think we covered this on the show before. This is very well known. Why? Because he always chickens out. We starts with big dramatic opening threat, big dramatic announcement, lots of caps lock on his Truth Social, and then a deal that he could basically turns out to be the same thing that he could have done without all the rigmarole. And where we basically get what we could have had already. Greenland is remaining Danish territory. Greenland's government still controls Greenland. Denmark has said sovereignty is not negotiable. So after all the posturing, the art of the deal, and the press release, the press releases, the United States did not gain ownership, sovereignty, or maybe over their own bases, but we're not sure, and did not gain anything it didn't really already have, which means if you walk away with what you already had, did you make a deal or did you just hold a press conference? So what's in the deal? It looks like it's more bases, which they were willing to give us anyway. NATO is saying that we have sovereignty inside our bases, which is a very weird topic. Denmark saying that's not true. Nobody can really tell. And as people were asking Trump about this, he was basically like, we don't know. He's like, it's a little bit in progress. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it. So first off, there is a deal, but he doesn't know what it is. And it appears that we didn't get, based on what we know, he didn't really get anything new. There's this. The reason Wall Street calls it taco is, in case you hadn't noticed, over the last couple of days, the market started taking a real dive with his talking about like not taking military force off the table, everything else. Mark Carney's speech to Davos started going, okay, now everybody's starting to take this shit seriously. And then, the market had a big hiccup. And Trump did what Trump does. He chickened out because he is, as I have long felt, he is a paper tiger. He is all bluster, but he does not have the guts for any sort of real deal. Jay, you've been kind of following this. What are your thoughts?
All right. I was at work when it was announced a deal was reached. I literally at work said, "Oh fuck." Headline: Trump reached a deal to secure Greenland. And I like scrolled through the story and I was like, I can't figure out the details of the deal, but I didn't think too much of it. I was like, okay, when I get home, everyone's going to have this story and, we will figure it out. Right. Like I'll read into this. And I went home, I looked and I was like, I don't understand the deal. 'Cause it sounds like nothing's happening. Like I've been waiting. I've been waiting days now. Like what what, what is new? Wait. And I've been so confused. But honestly, also at the same point, like I've been too busy with like work and school to like do a deep dive into it. So I'm glad that we're talking about it here tonight. But yeah, I've been fucking confused.
Well, and that's because again, he made a big announcement on his True Social. Then he proceeded to go and have an interview saying that it's being negotiated, right? Which backs off what he said, which is that the deal was done. And then he said it was unlikely that we would actually take ownership of the Arctic island. Something that he said was the ultimate goal was that we should own Greenland. So that's not happening now. But then we'll have greater access to Greenland. But nobody knows what that means. And as somebody put it, if this is meaningfully different from the status quo, it's not obvious. We've had an agreement granting us jurisdiction over U.S. military bases for 75 years. We could have easily arranged to build another one without all this psychotic brinkmanship. And of course, it's Trump, so this may change in 6 hours. I haven't looked at his Truth Social lately. I really haven't, so who the hell knows what's going on?
No one knows.
He's on his way home from Davos right now.
You know what that means? He's gonna do one of those like really shitty like Air Force One fucking like videos, like interviews.
Yep.
Where someone piggy again.
So we're allowed to do all this stuff already. The other part of this story and everything that's been going on at Davos, and Mark Carney kind of summed it up. And basically what Mark Carney said, who's the Prime Minister of Canada, was we've been operating for the last 70 years under this concept that America would basically be the stabilizing force on the planet, right? We would be the stabilizing force. It's why, the world reserve currency is the US dollar, right? It's why we've been able to do all the things that we do. And basically what the Europeans and what Mark Carney really said was, it has become apparent to us now that we cannot count on America, right? We just cannot count on the United States to take care of anything anymore. He says Carney's quote, there's been an irrevocable rupture to the world order. And I can't say that I disagree with him. And again, basically, he was like, look, we pretended there was this rules-based international order, and it was partially false. It always was kind of BS, right? But it worked. And that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And so we do all this stuff. And it doesn't seem like it. I don't know. And I get this coming through my feed too. All of the Trump people are like, art of the deal, art of the deal, art of the deal. He did such a good job. And I'm like, what did he do? Somebody in our YouTube chat said, I hope NATO will let America rejoin under a future emotionally balanced administration. The problem, and this is kind of what Carney's getting at, is the problem is that American policy changes every 4 to 8 years just due to the nature of our system, right? Now, up until Trump, there was kind of, and this is where that whole deep state thing came from, right? The whole idea of the deep state and where Trump and his cronies get this idea of the deep state, and they're not, the shitty part about people like Trump is, there's a lot of things he says where it's like, dude, you're not wrong, but the way you're doing this is dumb. Right? There is a bureaucratic state that's been in place that basically says to whether you're Republican or Democrat, here's some guardrails. You can do a lot of things, but these are the limits, right? Like, we don't crap on NATO. We don't do certain things, right? And Republican or Democrat, there was still some lines, especially in the world of foreign policy, that they just wouldn't cross, right? That just weren't worth it. That, again, maintained that kind of stable world order. And those are dead now. And especially since we didn't just elect Trump the one time, I think the world was willing to forgive us for electing Trump in 2016. I really do. But especially given how unhinged he's been in this administration, I do not think that even once Trump is out of office, I do not think that the world is going to forgive the United States for at least 2 decades.
Oh.
I don't see any way where they can be like, look, we get it the one time, but y'all brought him back after you got rid of him. Like, I don't think they trust the American electorate anymore. So yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about these kind of things on this channel. I don't even know where to go from here. I mean, I'm glad we're not invading Greenland, right? There's another news show that I watch a lot, and they brought up a point when they were talking about the taco thing this morning. I'll kind of take it. I'm kind of glad he's a taco because at least he didn't invade Greenland. Okay?
Yeah.
So good for that. That's good. Any other thoughts, Jay? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good that we have a taco. I don't know. I work with a lot of international people all the time at work. And I'm just we chat about this. And
Are they frequently like, what is wrong with your country?
So I think everyone's really afraid to bring it up. I'm typically the one that like starts the conversation. I'm like, hey, one, you guys know that like not all Americans are like that, right? Like, just, fit check real quick. Like, do you guys understand that? And then we joke around about it. Like, we have a person from Sweden in our office, and I'm like, hey, come February 1st, I mean, you're a Swedish import. You should ask for a 10% raise. I don't know. And just like everyone's like, yes, like America used to be really, really great. But with everything that's going on, like if you asked me like today, like, oh, like would I take like a position in America? I would. There's no way. There's no amount of money you could offer me to move my family from India or Sweden or any other country to the United States just because of what's going on. I think that's just so sad. Like in my head, we went from like Captain America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we can do anything and we're the good guys. And now we're at a point where like no one wants to have anything to do with us. No one wants to come here. No one wants to be associated with us. It's like, yeah, it's very sad. It's very sad.
Well, I will wrap it on that segment now. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Are you glad we're not invading Greenland? Yay. Okay. Speaking of shit that doesn't exist anymore, suppose we'll talk about this here in a second. But if you guys have any topics you wanna chat about, go ahead and drop them in the chat right now because we're officially getting to the end of our rundown. So, but hey, as of today, Jay, the TikTok deal is done. The TikTok has sealed the deal for the TikTok joint thing. So Silver Lake, Oracle, MGX each hold 15%, along with the Dell family office. That's the investment firm for Michael Dell. But TikTok's parent company, you know, that Chinese company we were supposed to be afraid of? Remember?
Mhm.
Remember that? ByteDance still owns 19.9% of the company. Right? Again, this is one of those ones where it's like, if we were trying to get this away from the Chinese, two things. One, if you think this is going to stop Chinese intelligence from getting whatever information they want, you are dead wrong. If you think this is going to, and this kind of goes to that 3D printer thing, right? I hate to say it, right? Because this is the truth, right? The minute you walk around with one of these in your pocket, right, you have conceded some level of privacy. It's just gone, right? You don't get to have it anymore. So again, if you think this is going to stop Chinese intelligence from gathering any data they want to gather, you are sadly fucking mistaken, right? I don't think this stops the Ministry of State Security from doing whatever the hell they want. Maybe it would slow them down if they were trying to tweak with the algorithm, but I don't think so. So this, again, feels to me like the Trump Greenland deal. It feels like a crony deal. We're going to let you guys over here get richer. Here's some more rich. The Chinese, again, financial details have not been disclosed. The Chinese didn't sell this to all those different groups for no money. So you just handed, anybody want to take a guess as how many billions just got handed to ByteDance? And by proxy, the Chinese government? Like, how is this winning in any way? Like, somebody fucking explain it to me. Jay, you're our MBA here. Like, make this make sense for me.
Yeah.
Given what we know about this deal.
No, it's very simple. It's fucking corruption. All of it. All of it is corrupt. And that's why if you approach this with like a business mindset or like a traditional mindset of how things should work, it's not going to make sense. But like it's all corruption. Like you're doing stuff just to make certain people richer because you have some sort of whatever on the back end that we don't even know about. But like everything that this person does, like I would love for someone to sit down and just trace the money for the next 20 years, see like what families are getting richer and how are they getting richer,
Well,
what is happening.
And so, again, I'm going to reference the article from Variety right now. The three managing investors, Silver Lake, Oracle, and Abu Dhabi's state-owned investment firm, MGX. Okay? Now, please tell me why that's supposed to make me feel better. The government of the United Arab Emirates now owns 15% of US-based TikTok. But they still own less than ByteDance does. ByteDance owns 20%. Like, somebody get this. And again, it's 19.9 because it's the divestor ban. They have to own less than 20%. So they own 19.9. Right? So you're good with the United Arab Emirates being a managing investor of the TikTok joint venture because they would have definitely they would never have any reason to want to ban or censor or do anything like that, would they? Jay, what do you think?
So I will say like that's the really great thing about the Chinese government is that they are very against censorship.
Yeah. According to the Global Slavery Index, the UAE, who now owns 50% of TikTok, probably has 132,000 slaves in their country. Like, this again, this goes back to this. Look, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Can someone please fucking explain this to me? Please tell me what's going on. Because all of this, when I read it, I'm like, this is better? This is better than what was there before? I'm about to go back on Xiao Shu. If it's fucking, I may as well just give my data straight to the Chinese. Screw it. I don't even know where else to go with this one. I think I depressed Jay to the end of the stream. Somebody in Twitch chat's having an aneurysm. Again, it's like the Greenland deal. All of this seems to expose, again, the concept that a lot of people don't know at the time, right? And you know who I was listening to a lot a couple weeks ago, Jay? I was taking my dog for a walk, and I started going back and listening to old George Carlin bits. Right? And there's a quote he has. Right? And it's a big club and you ain't in it. Let's see if I can get it to play.
They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying
at the airport.
Obedient workers, people who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
What's sad is Carlin picked this shit out 20 years ago, and it's worse now. Right? It's worse now. But Carlin was right. He's still right. We need George Carlin to come back from the dead. We need zombie George Carlin to come back from the dead to wake America up.
Again, we used to be like Captain America. Now we're just Hydra. I don't know.
It really is kind of like, actually, it is kind of like Captain America Winter Soldier, where S.H.I.E.L.D's there and everybody thinks S.H.I.E.L.D's the good guys and S.H.I.E.L.D. And then you find out that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been like mostly infiltrated by Hydra and they're actually all evil. Wow. That's actually that is a very apt metaphor for what is going on right now.
Yep.
So, anyway, last chance chat. Do you guys have any fun topics for us to talk about here? Because we might want to try and end on a high note because I think Jay will be sad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. High note. Everyone, we can't end on reality.
I'm looking forward to He-Man. There's some good stuff. Great. We should have some fun stuff to cover because like 10Ks are going to come out. So we're going to see how bad D&D really did in 2025. I'm really curious about how Wizards did, and I think they're going to obfuscate the numbers with the Final Fantasy Magic numbers because those were massive numbers for them. So I think there's going to be some obfuscation there, but we're going to start getting 10Ks and financial documents at everybody this year for 2025. So we're going to start to get to see that. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If keyword there, if He-Man is a success, How long do you think it is until we get a Thundercats live action movie?
I think that it's already in the works.
Is it?
Yeah, because the same shit happened after Transformers. Um, yeah. Godzilla versus Kong director Adam Wingard is working on it.
What?
Yeah, I'm looking. Warner Brothers was working on it. Um, Again, this happened after whatchamacallit, after Transformers, right? Everybody started sucking up IPs, right? Um, because, you know, it's the Hollywood, quick copy it department. If Thundercats is successful, I said it actually again. It's early videos on this channel. If the D&D movie would have been successful, you would have seen every studio in Hollywood snapping up every tabletop RPG, Pathfinder, Cyberpunk, freaking GURP, like everything would have gotten bought up that quick. So yeah, I have no doubt that if He-Man is successful, you'll see a spate of them kind of coming right behind it. I would watch a Thundercats movie.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah.
Right? I would watch a good G.I. Joe movie. How many times have they tried to remake G.I. Joe now? Twice? Right?
Oh,
We got
man.
we got them trying to redo Street Fighter again this year, right? There's a big hit for 80s and 90s nostalgia, right? Because the people who grew and here's the facts. The people who grew up on He-Man and Thundercats and Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and all that shit, they're adults now with adult money, right? And they have nostalgia for their childhood, for the 90s and the 80s. And if you can hit them in the right dopamine receptor, you can make some money. Again, the problem with something like Masters of the Universe is by necessity, the budget's got to be through the roof. The budget's 170 million, so you have to make 425. You're not going to get away with making 190, 200 million, which a lot of movies would kill to make. But for you, that's a failure. Like, you can't do it. So, and that's the thing is, a G.I. Joe movie is going to be expensive. How much do you think a Thundercats movie is going to cost them?
Oh God.
180, 190?
Yeah.
Right?
Although, I mean, I am watching like the SNL skit that Dog Dad posted, and this is great, and this is low budget.
Um, as, like, even Avatar Fire and Ash isn't doing great. It's not doing terrible, but it's only at 1.33. I don't think it's going to hit $1.5 billion. Do you?
No, I will say though, like Avatar, the issue with Avatar is that's the third movie now.
Yep.
So like you literally just have like people don't care anymore like they used to care about Avatar. It's not new, it's not fresh, it's not exciting. We saw the same thing with Transformers. Although there was a lot wrong with Transformers, but
The
different
first,
segment.
in my opinion, the first two were fine
Oh yeah.
for what they were, right? It was 3, 4, and 5, like they just ran them into the fucking ground.
Yeah.
But the first two were pretty good. I had fun with them. Again, it's like kind of like the D&D movie. I don't expect it to be perfect. I don't even expect it to be like a grand piece of cinema. I expect it to be fun and entertaining to watch, right? So yeah, I mean, yeah, Masters of the Universe. I said it's got to break 400 million. I don't know if it can do it. Again, especially if their marketing's not on point.
Yep.
You know, again, I don't want to get copyright struck, so I'm gonna be careful. Oh, this one, yeah. He-Man and Lion-O. Yeah. I think we talked about this. We did a video on this not too long ago. You're like, what deserves a reboot?
Yeah, we did.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, there's a lot of stuff I would like to see them try, but honestly, I would love to have. I want a new Star Wars. Like, I want something with the cultural hit of Star Wars, and I want it to be new, brand new IP. Give me something new. And I just don't think we're going to get it. There's rumors now that they're going to move Avengers Doomsday off of Dunes. You know how they were going to simul? Because Dune has all of the IMAX for 3 weeks. So Marvel gets none of the IMAX movies. None of them.
Wow. How did Marvel drop the ball on that?
They didn't. It's all about the distributors. And they should. I'll be honest. I think releasing Doomsday on the same day as Dune is stupid.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I think it's a terrible idea. Now, am I going to go see both movies in the same day? Yes, I am. Because I'm a big nerd. But I think for the general audience, I think it's a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
We're not having the rebooted Star Wars discussion again. We're not doing it again. We've done that on the channel too many times.
Yeah, but like if we did though, like would Sydney Sweeney like play Princess Leia?
And that's the problem. I have no doubt that a rebooted Star Wars would be fundamentally worse than the originals, right? For all of the crap that you give, that everybody gives the other stuff, there's just no way to do the original series better, right? You just can't. That's why we don't want them to reboot it. I want them to move into different eras. I want them to do that Swords and Sandals, James Mangold, Origin of the Jedi series, right? Okay? I want them to go 5 more years in the future, and please don't give me any more of this empire trapping bullshit. Give me, like we talked a few weeks ago, not one big great galactic thing, but let's say after the death of the First Order, now you've got like 9 governments all vying for different sectors of the galaxy, right? You have the Hutts who've turned this whole area into this like lawless and you got these guys who are trying to rebuild the Republic and blah blah blah. Yeah, give me all of that, right? Stop with the damn overarching galactic governments. We don't need it anymore. So, take that for what it's worth. But yeah, don't try to limit 3D printing lightsabers. Give me all that shit, man.
Yeah. Even I would love, because you can just go to so many different layers. Like I would love to see like the height of Mandalore or like the Mandalorian Wars, like where Mandalorians like first encounter the Jedi, because like Mandalorians, like they actually developed a lot of their weaponry because they encountered these space wizards for the first time and were like, what the fuck is that? There's so much. You can even get completely away from the Jedis, like Andor, right? And have a really good storyline. I don't know.
Yep. I agree. Did you see the new 28 Years Later? Did you watch that movie?
Not
The Bone Temple?
yet. Not yet, no.
It's getting good reviews, but I think it's bombing.
No.
It's not getting very good.
Bone Temple.
It's not making any money at all. It's only made $31 million. And I just don't think that's enough.
And they even have like, okay. Wow.
I heard it was really good, but I just don't. I just don't think it's going to do well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of expected that because, like, to be honest, like none of the originals really did that well to begin with, and then you decided to have a movie that was like a 2-parter, where like the first movie was really slow, and then you left us at like a cliffhanger, or you left all the good stuff. It wasn't a cliffhanger, but you left all the good stuff for like the second movie. So like you're you're appealing to like a very small demographic of nerds that yeah, it's not I don't know. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, listen, yeah, it's sad for them. Um, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming this year, but it's not out yet. Ready for Project Hail Mary, God damn it.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Devil
Yeah.
Wears Prada 2. Okay. Super Mario Galaxy movie is coming out in April. We've seen one trailer for that?
Yep, we have.
Yeah, I want to see that. By the way, did you see Zootopia 2 broke the record for the highest grossing animated film of all time?
What?
Surpassing
What?
Inside Out 2 and yeah, Frozen 2.
Oh.
Zootopia 2 is the highest grossing animated movie of all time.
Wow. They even beat K-pop Demon Hunters.
Dude, it's huge. It's made, God, how much has it made? Hang on, let me double check. It was high. Because that was when it broke 1.7. Highest grossing animation film of all time. Yeah, we know. Yeah, it's $1.7 billion. Good for them.
Do you think Netflix is really kicking themselves in the butt for not releasing K-pop Demon Hunters first in the movie theaters?
Yes.
Because you know that would have been like above $1 billion.
So yes and no. To do a proper theatrical release, you got to spend money on marketing, right?
Yeah.
Which Netflix didn't do. They didn't market K-pop Demon Hunters. It hit Netflix and everybody went, "What the fuck is this?" And it went kablowy, right? And then they released it in theaters. Now, if you've been listening to some of the interviews that Ted Sarandos over at Netflix has been doing recently about the Warner Brothers acquisition, one of the things he's been very, very clear about is we didn't do theatrical release because we didn't know how to do it, and we didn't have a distribution arm. We never have, right? So we were very limited in what we could or could not do, right? We're buying Warner Brothers because they have a theatrical distribution arm that's already well developed. They know what they're doing. We don't have to build it. We just get to have it, right? Warner Brothers stuff will continue to have a 45-day release window. We're not touching that. We're buying Warner Brothers because they have core competencies that we don't, right? And I think what he's seeing with K-pop Demon Hunters is if you had something like K-pop Demon Hunters with the infrastructure that Warner Brothers has, where you could have done a proper theatrical release, yeah, you could have made $100 million, right? But they had no idea. And they just re-signed their deal with Sony. Because Sony actually made that, right? So Netflix and Sony did a global pay one licensing deal. It's $7 billion.
Oh my God. Oh.
Netflix gets first dibs on Sony streaming. Now, Sony has been very clear. We are a theatrical release company. We make stuff. We'll license it to anybody, but we're not like Sony's not going to be, you're not going to have Sony Plus come out as a streaming service. Sony's been very clear. They're like, we want nothing to do with it. We're happy to license our stuff to all the other streaming services, but we don't want to do it. Now Netflix has said we get first dibs. All their Spider-Verse stuff, right? K-pop Demon Hunters. And you better believe the next K-pop Demon Hunters is going to have a theatrical release. Right?
Yeah.
They will. And they'll be in position to do it. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I encourage anybody who's worried about the Netflix stuff, go read what Sarandos is saying these days. I'm starting to buy what he is. Paramount keeps extending their proffer offer to try to get more shares of Warner Brothers. They've extended their tender offer for another 20 or 30 days to try and get more shares so they could do the hostile takeover. And it's not working. They've only got 168.5 million shares, which is about 7%. They need to get to 50%. They need to get 1.2 billion shares to hostile takeover. Plus, they're still in court. This is, again, the other reason I'm canceling my Paramount Plus subscription, because screw them. Go Warner Brothers, go HBO, and I hate to say it, but go Netflix.
Yeah.
I hope you're telling the truth, Sarandos. I really do. So, all right, folks. I think we've tortured Jay long enough. I think it's time to go. Chat's been quiet for about 4 minutes now. So, we're going to call it a night, but thank you all for joining us today. We hope you had a good time. We will be back here next week, next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So come back and join us. If you missed any portions of the show, we will release them as YouTube things. You can watch the entire live stream later, or you can watch them in little cut-up portions that we do right after this. So, this was a good show, but it was a weird show. It was a weird show.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Jay, say goodnight to the lovely folks.
Good night, everyone.
We all miss you. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.